welcome back to our daily vlog series. Today we are continuing to look at the varying parables that we find within scripture, within the Bible. And today's parable we're looking at the things that make a person unclean, but the title for it in particular today is What Contaminates You. So when I first looked at this title, I was a bit like, contamination or contaminate, they're quite strong words. Like when I think of contamination, I think of things that are perhaps illnesses or diseases, but actually when you pick it apart and put it into context within the Bible or scripture that links to what makes a person unclean or what contaminates us human beings, actually it really picks out and breaks down different things such as like sin and everything. And actually what contaminates you as a human being, but also perhaps within our faith and within our Christianity, or even just in our daily lives, it could be something as such as sin, burdens or worries that perhaps are holding us down and are actually contaminating us, because when we're full of dread or full of worry, or we are held down by anxiety or burdens or doubts, actually we were so caught up within those, I guess, nasty or uncertain feelings that actually it makes us not ourselves perhaps, or we're so worried that we're not focused perhaps as much within our faith, or we're just more, I guess, uncertain about things. And something such as like contaminate as well, it could link to how we may be fine or like on the outside, but actually we may feel within our faith that we could be spiritually unclean. So like something such as sin, for example, is how it could define like between how our faith can be seen as perfect, but also when we are full of sin, or perhaps we are so anxious that it kind of, I guess, we take our focus off God and we take our focus off our faith. So scripture, which links to what makes us unclean, I guess, which does sound quite big, but actually when you read these scriptures, it just kind of makes you reflect on like so our words or what we say. So Matthew 15 verses 10 to 20 says, Jesus called the crowd to him and said to them, listen and understand, it is not what goes into a person's mouth that makes him ritually unclean, rather what comes out of it makes him unclean. And then in verse 18 it says, Jesus then explains to the disciples that the things that come out of the mouth comes from the heart, and these are the things that make a person ritually unclean. For from the heart come the evil ideas which lead him to kill or do other immoral things. So I think verse 10 in Matthew 15, it shows when Jesus says to the disciples how when we listen and understand that when we string sentences or we have conversations with people, when we say something, it's like it's out in the open. So sometimes you've probably heard the saying, think before you speak. And I think we can all kind of be guilty of perhaps we said something we shouldn't, or something that perhaps may unintentionally offend someone and we're not wary or realise it. And I think that really speaks perhaps to all of us in modern day, how what goes into a person's mouth, it doesn't make him ritually unclean. It's actually what comes out of it makes him unclean. So I think, again, like I said, whatever we speak, so perhaps we haven't said something that's quite nice to someone, or if we are quite insensitive or not very careful, considerate, it's more you don't know how that may affect someone else. And then verse 18 again, the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and these are the things that make a person ritually unclean. And perhaps like there are evil ideas, which I think is a bit strong, but ideas perhaps that may lead to other unclean things, or perhaps the other saying where we're not always held responsible for our actions if we are perhaps so wound up or we are so angry or something. And it's just almost like the cycle, like if you do say something unkind or our words can hurt someone, again, intentionally, unintentionally, you never know if it is going to upset someone. So I think it is quite nicely put out in these verses in Matthew 15, and then again in Mark chapter 7 verses 14 to 23. It's also quite similarly repeated, how Jesus called the crowd to him once more and said to them, "Listen to me, all of you, and understand. There is nothing that goes into a person from the outside which can make him ritually unclean. Rather, it is what